We are often told as children not to talk to strangers, but my next guest, who is a former journalist and storyteller based right here in Metro Vancouver, decided she was going to ignore that advice. And that has led to a series of stories about ordinary people, but with some extraordinary stories to tell. There has been a book, there is now a podcast, and joining me to talk more about how all of this got started is Phalak Betab, again, journalist and storyteller and the person behind strangerstory.ca. Phalak, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Jill.
It is something so fantastic that you have been doing since you first launched what is called Stranger Story. Before we get into what's happening right now with this, how did you first get started with this initiative?
So, Jill, there's a story behind Stranger Story. I remember before the COVID days, I used to go out to different cafes and talk to random strangers. It just was, I was intrigued to know what's going on in their life, and just like that, there was no concept of Stranger Story by then. And one day, I just met somebody, and she had a great story about her life, and I just wrote it and sent it to her later. And then she said, "You know what? I never realized I was so inspirational. The way you have wrote it just feels like I am." And I was like, "Yeah, you are." And then I realized that, ordinary people have extraordinary stories to share. And that's where the journey began, actually.
And have you always been somebody feeling comfortable going up to strangers and striking up conversations with them?
Not at all. I was just in a lonely phase, I would say, of life. And I was like, rather than trusting the people that I know, I should just start chatting with people that I have no idea about. Maybe that gives me a relief. And then later, I also realized and actually researched a bit that talking to a stranger has some healing properties in it. So there are researches on that.
And from that, then, meeting people and learning all of these great stories, how did that kind of change or morph into becoming this Stranger Story, the biography series?
Exactly. So thank you for asking that question. So when I started writing those, I remember one publisher once contacted me, and he said that I can publish 25 best stories of you and of your strangers. And I was like, yeah, let's go ahead. And that kind of gave me an encouragement. But then lately, I would say 1 year back, I realized that people are more not into reading, rather they're more into watching, maybe because of social media, or so the short reels and stuff. So I was like, okay, let's just talk to people, but also record that conversation. So we started doing a kind of podcast, I would say. Yeah, from there on, it just built up, and then with community support and even because I work in Surrey, I recently got some City of Surrey support in that, and we were able to do some events and activities. So now I think the momentum is getting better, and I'm looking forward to actually creating a space for people where anybody randomly can come forward and share their ideas and feedbacks, thoughts, and they don't have to be celebrities or people known in the community to do so.
And what kind of a response have you gotten from starting off and telling those stories? I understand, like you said, it was the book series, the biography series, podcast. I think there's on YouTube, a YouTube channel as well. What kind of response have you been getting from people who have taken the time to read and to listen to these stories?
Yes, there's a mixed response to things, but I would say the inclination is definitely towards it's good towards bringing up those stories. The first and the foremost response was um, I so people will be like, "Oh my God, can I be featured in this? Like, can I share my thoughts? I have something to share about the government or my personal experience and stuff." So they definitely want to come forward and share it. But on the other side, I would also say that there are people who shy away from cameras or with their pictures, and that's absolutely uh, you know acceptable, and that's fine. And then we definitely can come up with anonymous stories for them. But yeah, everybody do wants to share And in the age of digital, all the people out there walking on the streets in their homes, everybody's a journalist right now with their phone in their hands, and they're trying to post something. And being from a journalism background, I've done my master's in journalism, so I do realize that there has to be somebody who should just screen those. While they're sharing their ideas, there has to be a screening. So maybe a professional can do that. I'm just trying to help the community in the way I can.
Which makes a lot of sense. And when you talk about the different types of stories, do you also find that people would shy away a bit or say, oh, I don't have anything interesting to tell. There's nothing in my story that people would want, but
absolutely.
They actually do.
Yes. And that's the idea of where it became, idea gained the life from. So initially people will be like, no, I have nothing to share. So then I stopped telling them that it's for stranger story. I'll be like, yeah, I'm a random stranger. So what do you do and all of that? Then they would share their story. And then at the end, I would tell them, you know what, you are interesting. And there is something that you can just share with the public. And then later they realize they too are. But yeah, you're right. A lot of people believe that they have nothing to share and they're not interesting or inspirational.
And as you're doing this now and continuing this, how do you find people, or do you look for people to nominate or people to contact you saying, hey, I know somebody who would have a good story, or how do you keep finding those stories?
So yeah, I actually set up some nominations in the past 6 months. But prior to that, it was just, going out and meeting people, kind of networking and all of that. It was all manual. But now I do have nominations forms on my website that I created, strangerstory.ca, and people can go there and nominate themselves. I believe that self-nomination should be the way out rather than your friends nominating you, because what I've realized that eventually people are only sending the links to their friends to nominate themselves. So why to have that, another step to it? So I prefer people believing in themselves, having that self-confidence and esteem, and say that, yeah, I deserve this nomination, and let me self-nominate myself. So those are the kind of people I'm particularly looking forward to.
Right. It sounds like this would take up a lot of time. Do you spend a lot of time working on this?
To be honest, not really, because this is not a job, right? I have a full-time job that I do. This is more like a passion, and it's more like people sharing their stories, and I am only there to listen. So I don't keep a track of how much time I spend in this. I just have a goal to achieve, where even if I'm able to help one person, get empowered with this platform, my job is done. So of course I have helped at least one. So I'm just on the path to help as many as I can, but there is no, goal to help or a target to achieve. So it's just a part of my life now.
Well, it's very interesting how this all came about and is continuing. And people, again, can go to the website strangerstory.ca and learn more all about this. Phalak, thank you for being with us, and thanks for joining us to talk more about this today.
Thank you so much, Will, for your time, and thank you for encouraging and appreciating Stranger Stories.
Did you know your brain releases the exact same mix of chemicals during orgasm as when you spot a UFO or break your leg? I'm David Cooper, and on the last show, curiosity is king, and discovering the science behind what makes us all tick is what we're all about. It's where science, sex, and comedy hook up, so prepare to have your mind blown. The Last Show with David Cooper. Subscribe and follow on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.